right, so we are back with Battlefield 6. It looks like Battlefield 6 Season 2 intro cinematic has now released, and it continues the story of RedSec. It continues the story of Battlefield 6 and what was going on in the campaign. Now, this is what we wait for. This is what we wait for every single time for Battlefield. Obviously, I would love to be covering it more, but the story progresses this way, and every time that this happens, we will be here to cover the intro and explain it to the best of our abilities. Now, before we go into the Season 2 intro and what it's basically telling us for the world of Battlefield, we must recap very quickly what happened in Season 1. In Season 1, Walker Senex was a defense contractor brought into Los Angeles, brought into California to protect this base, basically. And the base would be Fort Linden military base. However, it was attacked by a Pax Armada sleeper cell, and then it became a full-blown attack on Fort Linden. Basically, Pax Armada moved from their attack on the East Coast, their attack on New York, all the way to the West Coast, across the United States, and they wanted to capture Fort Linden. Now, why did they want Fort Linden? Because Fort Linden has very highly classified secrets that, if they are in the wrong hands, would be catastrophic, according to Murphy from Battlefield 6. The U.S. military issued a attack on Fort Linden to retrieve it, to get control of Fort Linden, and to push the Pax Armada out. Throughout the Season 1 intro, we hear a voice talking, and I assume that it was Murphy from the Battlefield 6 campaign, the current leader of Dagger 13. And I still believe that that's the case. I listened to it again, and it really does sound like Murphy. And now that we have the first season recapped, we can look at what's going on in Season 2. Now, apparently, in Season 2, we have Pax Armada maybe leaving the West Coast, or maybe doing a double attack. Maybe the battle at Fort Linden is still going on. We don't have any confirmation on that, but maybe they left the West Coast and now they moved to seize the Hagenthal Air Base in Germany. That is a German NATO air base, and it was considered by NATO to be a weak link. I think that's why Pax Armada decided to attack Hagenthal Air Base, because they knew that it was more of a weak link, and it's something very important for NATO, however, because if they lose that air base, they're basically in the blind. They don't have a lot of surveillance, they don't have a lot of help or backup, and so this was a very strategic way for Pax Armada to hurt NATO and put them in a tough situation. Now that Pax Armada took over the Hagenthal Air Base, it needs to be reclaimed, and so Command has basically ordered a full-on attack on the Hagenthal Air Base to reclaim it and get it up and running again. And now, according to the voice in Season 2, the victory here at the Hagenthal Air Base is basically going to decide the war. If they lose this air base completely to Pax Armada, NATO is going to be in the blind and NATO will be defeated. So this is a big fight going on right now in Battlefield 6. This is a big war, and it needs to be handled. Pax Armada need to get pushed out of Germany. They need to get pushed out of this air base. And so this is basically what we have for the Season 2 intro. That is what I got on my notes, and that is basically the story so far. Now, the voice in Season 2, I wanted to think that it was Murphy from Dagger 13, but it sounded just a tad bit different, but I could be very wrong. I'm going to play both of the Season 1 intro and the Season 2 intro together at the end of the video, like I do with all the Battlefield stories and Warzone stories, so you can kind of see them cohesively and you can kind of judge for yourself what you think is going on and how it feels. So we didn't get too much information about it. We don't have a website to go along with this one. It just came out not that long ago, maybe 30-40 minutes ago, so there's nothing that gives us any more info. If any more info comes out regarding the story, I will let you know, but this is what I have so far. Basically, Pax Armada have moved into Germany and they have attacked the Hagenthal Air Base, which is a very big and important air base, but it was a very weak air base as well. It didn't have a lot of security, and so Pax Armada strategically attacked them to leave NATO in the blind and hurt them tremendously, which it seems like they did. So now NATO is scrambling to try and stop Pax Armada and push them out of Germany. So that's what we have. Do you like where the story is going so far? Do you hope to see a little bit more? Do you hope to see more of a cinematic or something involving other characters? Apparently on February 12th, there's going to be a gameplay trailer, but I think that's only going to show actual just gameplay of the new map and stuff like that. I don't think it's actually going to further the story in any way. If it does, obviously we will cover it. If it doesn't, we probably will not.
Good morning, California. It's a beautiful day out there.
Congress continues their investigation into corporate lobbyist influence.
Traffic is looking heavy on the expressway. Maybe just stay at home today.
Linden Beach residents have expressed concern at the increased level of military.
The threat of a global conflict continues to rise. Cold tensions resurface between former NATO countries.
Homeland Security assures us there is no need for concern.
This just in, reports of a massive explosion position at Fort Linden.
A huge shockwave from the military base.
National Guard has evacuated the area.
Are we under attack?
It was only a matter of time.
Rumors spreading of chemical fallout.
Joint Chiefs of Staff are meeting with the President.
DHS confirms packed sleeper cells are real.
First, it was the East Coast. Now, it's the West.
Attacks seem to be spreading across Southern California.
Scenes of chaos as fighting moves through the streets.
Is this connected to the explosion?
Coordinated attacks by Pax Armada sleeper cells.
With the military deployed to answer the growing threat, Fort Linden is up for grabs. There are more secrets there than Groom Lake. If any of it falls into the wrong hands, it'll be catastrophic. I'm not gonna let that happen. Pax Armada seized Hagental Air Base, the weak link in NATO's satellite command node. This loss has left us blind.
Part of a coordinated strike on a strategic NATO.
Show any Pax movement until it was too late.
If succeed, suddenly a flashpoint. It's lost. NATO's line just collapsed.
Continues to unravel by the second.
It's a complete
Operational failure.
The situation spiraling faster than anyone can plan.
Command has authorized full force engagement against the base. Whatever it takes, whatever it costs. We take that node back, or we lose this war.